Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Marcelo Duarte. I'm the Director of International Relations at ABRAPA, the Brazilian Cotton Association. I would like to say that it's a big pleasure to be present here today with you in the first Cotton Day in India. The first Cotton Day in India, it has been put together by ABRAPA, the Brazilian Cotton Growers Association, but also by ANEA, the Brazilian Cotton Shippers Association, Apex Brazil, the Brazilian Trade and Investment Promotion Agency, along with the Confederation of Indian Textile Industry City and the Embassy of Brazil in New Delhi. Thank you all, dear partners. As the initiative can only be successful with the support of these organizations, I would like to thank all of you, our dear partners. Before the webinar begins, I would like to give you some quick guidance so we make the most of it. Please, next slide. When it comes to language interpretation, an important point is, no matter if you're listening and understanding me right now, but it's really important that you change the interpretation button to English and the bottom right of your screen. It's really important because if you do this, because we're going to have some presentations in Portuguese, and that's the only way you'll be able to understand. And if you speak Portuguese, se você fala português, selecione o botão interpretação na parte baixa do seu direita do seu Zoom e selecione português para que você possa receber a tradução simultânea. Next, please. It's very, in terms of Q&A, we're going to have Q&A in the end, and it's very important that you use the Q&A button in the bottom of your screen. So you have Q&A, that's where we're going to be reading your questions, and at the end of the session, we're going to be discussing. And if we don't have time to answer all the questions towards the end of this webinar, we'll make sure we're going to email you with our answers. Next, please. Today, we're going to share information about the Brazilian and the Indian textile industry, connecting these two important countries and the cotton world sector. This is our agenda of today. So we're going to have, after this part, so we're going to have the welcome remarks by the President Julio Bussato of Abrapa, and then we're going to have the welcome from Mr. Tulasidaram, past chairman of CITI and president of the Indian Cotton Federation. We also are very honored today to have the president of Brazilian, the ambassador of Brazil to New Delhi, Correia do Lago. He's also be giving his warm welcome remarks to us. And then finalizing the first part, we're going to have the MOU signing between CITI and Abrapa. I'll be talking a little bit more about that later. And then after that, we're going to have the presentations, starting with the Indian sector. Mr. Atul Kanatra is going to talk to us about the Indian sector, followed by Julio Bussato, who is going to talk to us about the Brazilian cotton production crop estimates for 2021, the quality of Brazilian cotton, Edson from Abrapa. Mr. Moresco is going to talk about sustainability. Enrique Snikskovsky is going to talk about global trade and exports for Brazil 2021. And I'll be making a presentation about the Cotton Brazil initiative. And finally, we're going to have our Q&A session and closing remarks. The estimate time for this webinar is about 1 hour and 15 minutes. We plan to reach to the end. So now let's start with the welcome remarks. So I would like to introduce Abrapa, covering 99% of Brazil's cotton production and 100% of the country's total exports. Abrapa, the Brazilian Cotton Growers Association, is a leading national commodity organization representing Brazilian growers domestically and internationally. I would like to call Mr. Julio Bussato, president of Abrapa, for his welcome remarks. Please, Julio.
Bom dia a todos, bom dia aos que estão nos assistindo. Meu nome é Júlio Bussato, eu sou engenheiro agrônomo, agricultor e plantador de algodão aqui no Brasil. E hoje sou o presidente da Associação Brasileira dos Produtores de Algodão, a Abrapa. A Abrapa é uma associação exclusivamente de produtores de algodão, onde nós temos 10 associadas, que são as estaduais. Então, a Abrapa é que coordena basicamente 99% dos produtores de algodão aqui no Brasil. Falar um pouquinho sobre o algodão brasileiro, que daqui a pouco nós vamos ver os números, mas assim, o Brasil, na década de 90, ele era o segundo maior importador mundial de algodão. E aí, nós, agricultores, através das associações estaduais, através da Abrapa, nós fomos, junto com as entidades públicas e privadas de pesquisa, universidades, agrônomos, técnicos, criando uma tecnologia e que hoje, realmente, o Brasil possui um algodão de alta produtividade, uma tecnologia de ponta e uma ótima qualidade. E essa tecnologia, ela nos transformou hoje no quarto maior produtor mundial de algodão e o segundo maior exportador mundial de algodão. E podemos crescer ainda mais, né? Estamos fazendo melhoria nos processos de produção, melhoria nos processos de beneficiamento do algodão, para melhorar a qualidade do nosso algodão. E, infelizmente, para essa safra, em função do mercado, que nós tivemos que tomar a decisão do plantio lá atrás, e o mercado não estava favorável para a cultura do algodão, a rentabilidade da cultura do algodão estava baixa, nós vamos reduzir esse ano a área em 15% da produção brasileira de algodão. Ano passado, na safra passada, nós produzimos 3 milhões de toneladas de algodão. E esse ano nós estamos estimando uma produção de 2,6 milhões de toneladas. É uma produção um pouco menor. Agora houve uma melhora nos preços do algodão, mas, infelizmente, o plantio em algumas regiões já está finalizado e no maior produtor brasileiro, que é o Mato Grosso, está se iniciando agora. Então, nós não temos mais como mudar isso. Eu quero aqui fazer também um agradecimento, né, o Mr. Tulashidharan, que é o presidente da Indian Cotton Federation, o Mr. Rajakumar, presidente da CIT, o nosso embaixador André Correia do Lago, em nome dele, quero agradecer a todas as pessoas da Embaixada Brasileira que nos ajudaram a que esse evento acontecesse, né? A Atul Ganatra, o presidente da Cotton Association of India, a doutora Sumanda, da CIT, que ajudou muito na organização desse evento, e Majon Sharma, da CIT também. E desejo a todos que esse nosso encontro seja muito proveitoso. Obrigado.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now it's time to introduce you to CITI. CITI is the Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, being one of the leading industry chambers of the textile and clothing sector of India, representing the major leading regional and industry associations and 18 major corporate members. It is the only national association which covers the entire spectrum of the textile and clothing industry, spanning both domestically and internationally. I would like to call Mr. Tulashidharan, past chairman of CITI and president of the Indian Cotton Federation, for his welcome remarks.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, on behalf of Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, CITI, one of the apex textile and clothing association in India and first cotton Brazil outlook organizers, I wholeheartedly welcome the Honorable Ambassador, Embassy of Brazil in India, President Abrapa, Mr. Julio Cesar Usato, President of Cotton Association of India, Sri Atul Ganatra, distinguished speakers from ABRAPA, National Association of Exporters of Cotton, Apex Brazil, and all other delegates who are connected with us today from different parts of India, Brazil, and world over. This auspicious occasion of launching of the first Cotton Brazil Outlook. It's a great honor and privilege for City to partner with Embassy of Brazil in India and ABRAPA in organizing this webinar. Our special thanks to Mr. Dalcy D. Jesus Begolin, Agriculture Attaché, Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Food Supply, Embassy of Brazil in New Delhi, India, for connecting both Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, City, and ABRAPA for exploring the possibilities of business growth in cotton sector and partnering with City in organizing this important event. Brazil has a very long traditional relationship with India, especially in the cotton sector, as both are major producers of cotton. I'm sure that the first Cotton Brazil Outlook will connect the Brazilian cotton players with the Indian textile industry for discussion of trade, technology, sustainability, quality, and traceability of Brazilian cotton. I am also confident that today's webinar will be fruitful for the entire textile and apparel value chain of India and Brazil. As per USDA, Brazil is the second largest exporters of cotton in the world after USA. China, Vietnam, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Turkey have been major export destination for Brazilian cotton. Though India is not a big importer of cotton, but owing to the great demand of cotton in India, Brazilian cotton exporters have a vast untapped potential in Indian market. Friends, we all know that India is not only the leading producer of cotton in the world, but also one of the largest consumer of cotton, with an annual demand about 33 to 35 million bales of 170 kilos each. Cotton has been the pride and prime of Indian textile industry. It has been major competitive strength of the country, with most exports being dominated by cotton. And even today, the share of Indian cotton's total fiber consumption is still above 60%, while it is 30% across the globe. India accounts for 38% of the world area under cotton, and Indian government is taking various initiatives to improve productivity, quality, and branding Indian cotton and its products across the value chain, in which India has a bright future and would ever remain competitive. Indian cotton textile industry is over 5,000 years old. 24.5 million people are employed in agriculture, ginning and pressing, and over 70% of the people in the entire textile value chain is again employed in this industry. Therefore, making our Indian cotton quality as one of the best in the world and producing high value-added products out of the same has been the strength of India for a long time period. Today, the Indian cotton spinning sector is world-class, modernized, and produces finest quality yarn. India is also the leading producer of cotton yarn in the world. Indian cotton spinning sector is considered as the sunshine sector in the Indian textile and clothing industry. On the occasion of Second World Cotton Day, Honorable Union Minister of Textiles and Women and Child Development, Srimati Smriti Zubin Irani ji, launched the first ever Indian cotton brand, Kasturi, which represents whiteness, brightness, softness, purity, luster, uniqueness, and Indianness. Moreover, to ensure sustainability, integrity, and end-to-end traceability of the organic products, India is also working on a certification system based on comparable international standards verified through internationally acceptable institutional system. With the launch of Cotton Brazil Outlook, India is also likely to be benefited in the field of technology, sustainability, quality, and traceability. Cities Cotton Development and Research Association and also South India Mills Association's Cotton Development and Research Association, a sister concern of our regional member association, have been directly helping the cotton farmers and trade to improve cotton production, productivity, and quality. With the signing of MOU between Brazilian Cotton Growers Association, ABRAPA, and Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, CITI, we can explore more avenues for cotton development, especially in development of specialty cotton, extra long staple cotton, organic cotton, and naturally colored cotton, as these are going to have a good demand in India in the upcoming future. I once again congratulate ABRAPA on launch of their first Cotton Brazil Outlook and wish them a great success ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tulasidaran. Namaste. And thank you very much. Cotton Brazil also receives an important support from the Brazilian government through the Embassy of Brazil in New Delhi. And therefore, I would like to ask for his welcome remarks, Ambassador André Corrêa do Lago. Please, Ambassador André Corrêa do Lago.
Boa tarde, good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to say hello to Mr. Júlio Busato, the president of ABRAPA, and congratulate him for the organization of this event. Mr. Tulasidaran, that is a very important partner here in India for us. I would like also to salute Mr. Atul Ganatra and also Dr. Sunanda, and thank Marcelo, who is doing a great job in Asia, and say it's a pleasure to be here. I am here with Dalci Bagolin, the agriculture attaché of this embassy, and also the head we also have here Gustavo Westman, who is the head of trade promotion of the embassy. Our entire team is enthusiastic about this event and enthusiastic about this memorandum of understanding we're going to sign, and I'm going to have the honor to also be present in this signing. So apart from congratulating ABRAPA for this event, I would like also to say that it is with great emotion that we listen to Mr. Busato describing the extraordinary trajectory of the sector in Brazil, on how we pass from importers to exporters in such a short time, thanks to technology, thanks to hard work, and thanks to intelligence also. So now we have a product that is worldwide recognized for its quality, for its consistency, for its sustainability, for its competitiveness. And I am very, very happy that in the last 3 years, Brazil has significantly increased the volume of cotton exported to India, almost 10 times. And also to say that now India is the 9th largest buyer of our cotton. But we have a huge potential to increase that. As you know, the plan of action between our two countries launched this morning, launched this year in January, has the objective of really doubling the trade between our two countries by 2020. So we have to work together for that. I would like to say also that we are very conscious of the importance, historic and permanent importance of India as a cotton producer and as a cotton consumer. And I'm particularly happy that the Brazilian industry can complement the Brazilian production can complement the Indian industry, both also at the same time in terms of quality, in terms of quantity, and availability all year round. So I am I'm very happy with this event, and please count on me on both sides. And we are really very excited that we can work together in this, and this MOU, I'm sure, is going to be a great step. Thank you very much for inviting me to be today with all of you, and I congratulate all the panelists that are going to give the explanations, and who I hope will keep a very strong contact with us at the embassy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. We all know how busy you are, especially in those times. So we appreciate very much your presence here, and your endorsement to our partnership is very important to us. So thanks again for being here and for endorsing our partnership. Now we come to a very important moment of tonight's webinar. We have the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Brazilian Cotton Growers Association, ABRAPA, and the Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, CITI. These two countries, through CITI and ABRAPA, directly and indirectly connect millions of farmers, 100 million plus workforce, and 1.5 billion consumers. These are the key points of the MOU we'll be signing tonight. The objectives are to promote business promotional activities in cotton trade, investment, and technology, provide opportunity and forum for discussion on promotion of these activities, provide cooperation and support to organize seminars, exhibitions, and conferences, disseminate information on trade investments, and promote ease of doing business on both countries, among other points that are listed in the MOU. So I invite Mr. Júlio Busato, President of ABRAPA, Mr. Tulasidaram, Dr. Sunanda from CITI, as well as Ambassador André Corrêa do Lago and Henrique Snitkovsky, President of ANEA, to sign the MOU. Could we have everybody in the full screen, please? Yes, I think now we have all the signing parts in the full screen. So please, could you show the document so we can have an official picture? All right, thank you. Thank you very much. It's modern days. Thanks a lot. So, well, we thank again Citi for the partnership. It is a pleasure to have such.
Parabéns. Parabéns.
Thank you, Ambassador. We thank the Ambassador, the Embassy of Brazil in New Delhi. We thank ANEA, we thank Citi for this wonderful partnership. It's a pleasure to have such an important partner, and we hope to be working way much more in the near future. Thank you all. Now it's time to start the presentations of the webinar. First, I would like to call Mr. Atul Kanatra, President of CAI, who will speak about Indian cotton sector. Welcome, Mr. Ganatra.
My dear cotton and textile friends, I am Atul Ganatra, a cotton merchant and spinning mill owner from India. At present, I am a president of Cotton Association of India. I am glad to inform you all that the Cotton Association of India has now entered into the 100th year of servicing the Indian cotton trade. Our association was established in the year 1921-22. I am indeed thankful to the Brazilian associations and Citi for inviting me to share my thoughts on Indian cotton sector. India is mainly an agriculture-based economy. Over 54% of the total workforce in the country is engaged in agriculture and allied activities. Cotton is one of the most important cash crop in India. The cotton sector plays a significant role in the Indian economy by providing support to over 60 million farmers and workers involved in the cotton industry. India's textile industry is mainly cotton based, and around 60% spinning mills are running on cotton and 40% are on man-made fiber. Through cotton yarn and garment export, the textile industry is earning 12% of the country's export earnings. Textile industry in India is one of the largest sources of employment generation in the country. Cotton sector in India has made a steady progress post-independence in 1947. The progress was somewhat moderate in the earlier decades, but quite rapid since 2001, mainly with the growth in the production of cotton. The cotton production has been increased in India with the introduction of BT cotton seed in India. Cotton acreage in India in 1947, when the country became free, was nearly 4.6 million hectares. But now, as on today, we have reached 13 plus million hectares under cotton. India's share of cotton acreage in the world is nearly 30%. In 2019-20, India has produced 36 million bales of 170 kg. And 2020-21, this year's season, also we are expecting 36 million bales of 170 kg. In last 4 or 5 years, India is not able to increase the production of the cotton because of poor yield. Last 3 years, our average yield is 450 kg per hectare, which is lowest in the world. And we understand the Brazilian cotton yield is 1200 kg per hectare, which is very high compared to Indian cotton yield. Indian cotton farmers and all the association need to take guidance from Brazilian Farmers Association to improve Indian yield. If we can improve even 20% to 30% in our cotton yield, then we can produce nearly 45 to 50 million cotton bales easily. The Cotton Association of India and CCI and CT, with the help of Indian government, is working on improving the cotton yield in India. Looking to the higher minimum support price in India by the Indian government, the sowing of cotton may increase by 5 to 7% in coming season. As on today, Indian cotton market is steady and the prevailing rate is 80 to 84 cent as per the quality. Due to the strike lockdown, because of strict lockdown of COVID-19, the cotton consumption in India has been drastically reduced in last year 2019-20 season. That is from 33 million bales to 25 million bales. Due to this reduction in the consumption, India has used huge record of carry forward stock. That is on 30th September 2020, the country carry forward stock was 12.5 million cotton bales of 170 kg. And as per Cotton Association of India's latest crop report, the coming season also we are going to have 11 to 12 million bales carry forward cotton stock by 30th September 1921. The Indian spinning mills at present running average 95% capacity, and the consumption this year is expected 33 million bales. India is second highest exporter of cotton in the world after USA. In 2019-20, India have done 5 million bales export, and this year we are expecting 5.5 million bales of cotton export. India is importing cotton around 1.5 million bales in a year, and mainly we are importing extra large staple ELS cotton. Before I end my speech, I want to say that India is going to be a regular and reliable supplier of cotton, cotton yarn and textile product to the entire world. And in coming 5 years, our production of cotton and textile manufacturing goods will be increased minimum 30 to 50%. And India will continue to play a key role on the world cotton platform. Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Mr. Ganatra. Namaste.
Thank you.
It was very nice to understand these numbers and the strategies. I'm totally sure that we are talking to a major and most important grower and consumer, as the ambassador said, and then we really appreciate the way you shared these numbers and your vision for the future. Thank you very much. And now, our president, Julio Busato, he recorded a video and about Brazilian production. I would like to share it with you, please.
Olá, meu nome é Júlio César Busato. Sou engenheiro agrônomo, agricultor, produtor de algodão no Brasil e presidente da Associação Brasileira dos Produtores de Algodão, ABRAPA. Estou aqui para falar sobre a produção e a rastreabilidade do algodão brasileiro. Em 20 anos, nos transformamos de segundo maior importador mundial de algodão para o segundo maior exportador e queremos continuar crescendo ainda mais. Mas como isso aconteceu? Através da união dos cotonicultores brasileiros em suas associações estaduais, todas coordenadas pela ABRAPA, onde buscamos, através de novas tecnologias e melhorias no sistema de produção e beneficiamento do algodão, produzir um algodão de melhor qualidade para o mercado. Hoje, produzimos algodão em quantidade, qualidade, com fornecimento durante os 12 meses do ano, credibilidade conquistada através dos programas que desenvolvemos aqui na ABRAPA. Na última safra, colhemos um volume recorde de 3 milhões de toneladas, que nos tornou o quarto maior produtor mundial de fibra. Nessa safra que estamos iniciando o plantio, teremos uma área menor do que a safra anterior. Isso em função do mercado e da baixa remuneração que a lavoura de algodão proporcionava para os produtores naquele momento. Saliento que nas últimas 4 safras, os cotonicultores brasileiros dobraram a produção de algodão e que podemos repetir esse feito, desde que tenhamos a melhoria na rentabilidade da cultura e mercado para vendermos nossa produção. E é isso que estamos buscando. Nossa estratégia é de longo prazo e queremos clientes para continuar crescendo e investindo cada vez mais em qualidade, sustentabilidade e rastreabilidade. O Cotton Brasil, que estamos apresentando a vocês hoje, já nasce com estes compromissos: qualidade, sustentabilidade e rastreabilidade. Contem com o Cotton Brasil. Juntos estamos semeando um futuro melhor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your video presentation. Following his presentation, President Julio gave me the task of sharing with you some key numbers and figures of cotton production in Brazil. Could you please put the slides on? So next, so these these are the figures. Next, please. Yeah, these are some figures about cotton production. It's in tons. So if you translate that into bales of 170 kilos, so last cropping season, that when we harvested, finished harvesting in September last year, it was 3 million tons, means about 17.6 million bales of 170 kilos. So that was our highest production ever. So it was a growth of 2.3 times growth in only the last 4 years. And 79% of our markets is international. Next, please. This is, next, please. This is a picture of what's happening right now in Brazil, planting. So this is a planting that's happening in double cropping. Please, previous one. So planting, previous one, please. Anterior. Next, please. Next, please. Yes, this picture shows planting and harvesting, and this one is harvest. So the harvest is going to start in from June to September, and it's important to note that 100% of the harvest in Brazil is mechanized. Next, please. Right now in January, so we have 2 crops running at the same time. So the crop, that 1920 crop, we are finalizing the HVI analysis. We are finalizing and we are exporting and selling to the domestic market. So the ginning is over. And at the same time, we're planting the 2021 crop. So this is where, I just wanted to show you the calendar to show where we are in 19. So the crop will be, we are putting in the international market right now is a 1920 from the cropping perspective, but from the marketing year perspective, it's a 2021. Next, please. So these are some characteristics of cotton production in Brazil that I would also like to share. So we are talking about professional large farming areas, wide use of technology, high yields, 1.8 tons per hectare of yield. So it's very, very high yields, 100% mechanized harvest, low use of irrigation, and these 3 points that we are going to, in the last 3 points, quality, sustainability, and export oriented are the ones that are the next topics of our presentation. So we'll be talking about quality, that's 100% HVI tested, high adoption of sustainability, and increasingly focus on export. So to talk about quality, I would like to call Mr. Edson Mizoguchi, who is the manager of the cotton quality program for Abrapa, and he's going to explain how quality control is done in Brazil. Please, Mr. Edson.
Olá, eu sou o Edson Mizoguchi, gestor responsável pelo programa SBR-HVI. Vou apresentar como o Brasil tem evoluído em seus indicadores de qualidade e credibilidade das análises de algodão. O programa SBR-HVI, Programa de Qualidade desenvolvido pela Abrapa, foi criado em 2016 e está estruturado em 3 pilares: monitoramento dos equipamentos de análise de HVI, integração de sistemas num banco de dados único e capacitação das equipes dos laboratórios participantes. Para realizar o monitoramento dos equipamentos de análise de HVI, a Abrapa construiu o Centro Brasileiro de Referência em Análise de Algodão, CBRA. Todas as normas estabelecidas pelo Manual para a Padronização da Classificação Instrumental de Algodão foram respeitadas, com monitoramento da climatização e sensores de alta precisão nas salas de preparação de amostras, acondicionamento e análises de HVI. O CBRA é certificado por ICA Bremen e acreditado pela ISO 17025 e se equipara aos melhores laboratórios do mundo em competência técnica. Sua função é monitorar todos os 11 laboratórios distribuídos nas regiões produtoras de algodão por meio de programas de checagem, reteste e verificação interna. É regra do SBR-HVI ainda que todos os laboratórios operem em rede, integrados ao sistema a fim de que as análises tenham um único resultado de origem e estejam concentradas num único banco de dados, ao qual produtores e compradores, depois de devidamente cadastrados, possuem acesso. E para aumentar a confiabilidade, harmonizamos os procedimentos e capacitamos as equipes que trabalham nos laboratórios, com o fornecimento de normas internacionais para a padronização das análises e treinamento constante. Um dado que é muito relevante sobre o algodão brasileiro é o fato de que 100% da nossa produção é analisada por instrumento de alto volume do tipo HVI. O programa SBR-HVI atualmente monitora 67 equipamentos HVI de 11 laboratórios, sendo que 39% deles já possuem colorímetro duplo, garantindo maior confiabilidade na leitura de cor. Com o SBR-HVI, que já está em operação há 4 anos, a taxa de confiabilidade das análises tem aumentado de maneira consistente, de 90,8% na safra 2016-17 para 96,3% em 2019-20. Hoje, o Brasil tem algodão de qualidade, que atende a todos os segmentos da indústria têxtil. E essa qualidade tem se mantido e melhorado a cada safra, nas principais características que são valorizadas pelas indústrias. Em relação à Micronair, 99% da nossa produção se enquadra entre 3,5 e 4,9. No índice de resistência, 98% é maior que 27 gramas por tex. 96% do algodão produzido no Brasil tem comprimento de fibra igual ou maior que 1,08 da polegada, staple 35 e acima. É interessante enfatizar que na safra 16-17, 63% da produção se enquadrou em igual ou maior que 1,11 polegada, staple 36 e acima. Esse indicador evoluiu consistentemente e na safra 2019-20 atingiu 85%. Em relação à uniformidade da fibra, 87% da produção é maior que 80%. E o índice de fibras curtas evoluiu de 61% em 2014-15 para 79% da produção com índice menor que 10% na safra 2019-20. O programa SBR-HVI garante que os resultados das análises do algodão brasileiro são confiáveis e contribui para que possamos fornecer uma matéria-prima de qualidade crescente ao mercado global. Conte com o Cotton Brasil. Juntos, estamos semeando um futuro melhor.
Thank you, Mr. Edson. As you could see, quality of Brazilian cotton is taken very seriously. And most importantly, this quality is in production developed in a very sustainable way. I would like to share you some slides, please. If you want to know, next, please. Next slide, please. Yes, this one. If you want to know more information about statistics of Brazil cotton results, so for detailed updated statistics of HVI results of the Brazilian crop, please access downloads.cottonbrazil.com/quality report. So that's where you're going to get detailed information about each one of the main parameters that are used to analyze cotton with HVI equipment. Downloads.cottonbrazil.com/quality report. Next, please. Next, please. Yes, and now in terms of traceability, if you want to know detailed information bale by bale for the farmers who joined the program, not all farmers join this program, but you can access cottonbrazil.com/traceability. You can get, for the farmers that are in this program, the traceability program, you're going to get farm data, gene data, lab data, HVI data, and certifications of ABR and BCI. And talk about certifications, I would like to call our next speaker, which is Mr. Carlos Moresco, president of the Goiás Cotton Growers Association, also a director of Abrapa, who is going to present to us about sustainability in Brazil.
Olá, meu nome é Carlos Moresco, sou produtor de algodão no Brasil. Estou aqui para falar sobre o compromisso do cotonicultor brasileiro com a sustentabilidade. O algodão brasileiro é cultivado de acordo com os programas de sustentabilidade que certificam a fazenda e também a algodoeira. Esse esforço começou ainda em 2005, ou seja, uma década e meia de ações para a produção de um algodão comprometido com o futuro das próximas gerações. Atualmente, são 3 iniciativas que se complementam. Nosso Programa Nacional, o ABR, Algodão Brasileiro Responsável, aplicado nas fazendas produtoras de algodão. A BCI, Better Cotton Initiative, que atua em benchmarking com o programa ABR desde 2013. E o novo programa ABR-UBA, Algodão Brasileiro Responsável para Unidades de Beneficiamento de Algodão, iniciado na safra 2019-2020. Esses 3 programas são estruturados de acordo com os 3 pilares da sustentabilidade: social, ambiental e econômico, contemplando as leis brasileiras e as melhores práticas internacionais. No pilar social, o foco é saúde e segurança do trabalhador, alinhado 100% às normas internacionais da OIT. A proibição de trabalho infantil e forçado e de conformidade total obrigatória. O pilar ambiental visa a preservação e qualidade do solo e da água, com boas práticas agrícolas e de beneficiamento, e foco na redução do uso de pesticidas e aumento do controle biológico e manejo integrado de pragas. O pilar econômico prioriza a rentabilidade para a longevidade do negócio, com excelência operacional, gestão de custo de produção e comercialização. No Brasil, desde 2013, nenhuma fazenda é licenciada BCI se não for primeiramente certificada pelo programa ABR. Assim, nosso Programa Nacional de Sustentabilidade ficou ainda mais forte no cenário internacional. Entre 2013, ano do benchmarking, e 2020, sempre ocupamos o primeiro lugar mundial em produção e fornecimento de algodão Better Cotton. No ano de 2019, contribuímos com 36% do volume mundial do algodão licenciado pela BCI. Os programas de sustentabilidade do algodão brasileiro estão presentes em 8 estados produtores de algodão, responsáveis por quase toda a produção nacional. Na safra 2019-2020, a fibra que vocês estão recebendo nas fiações e tecelagens agora, 75% de todo o algodão brasileiro é certificado ABR e licenciado BCI, o correspondente a 2,25 milhões de toneladas. aliamos a produção sustentável com escala. O Brasil detém os maiores índices de produtividade em regime sequeiro do mundo. A produtividade média brasileira é de 1.802 quilos por hectare de pluma, enquanto a média mundial é igual a 766 quilos por hectare. Ainda, 92% da área plantada de algodão não utiliza nenhum tipo de irrigação, contando apenas com a água da chuva para o desenvolvimento da cultura. Acreditamos na melhoria contínua sempre. Ao todo, são considerados 178 itens para a certificação da fazenda e 170 itens para a certificação da algodoeira, organizados em 8 critérios: contrato de trabalho, proibição de trabalho infantil, proibição de trabalho análogo a escravo, indigno ou degradante, liberdade de associação sindical, proibição de discriminação de pessoas, segurança, saúde e meio ambiente do trabalho rural, desempenho ambiental e boas práticas agrícolas e industriais. Já no primeiro ano de certificação de uma fazenda, é necessário atingir no mínimo 85% de conformidade nos protocolos ABR e BCI. Em seguida, devem ocorrer melhorias a cada safra, até a fazenda atingir 90% de conformidade e se manter nesse patamar ou acima. O mesmo acontece para o programa ABR, exclusivo para unidades de beneficiamento de algodão, dependendo da categoria operacional na qual a algodoeira está enquadrada. É muito importante destacar que as certificações acontecem safra a safra e são realizadas por certificadoras de terceira parte, com reconhecimento internacional. Para finalizar, gostaria de reforçar: a produção de algodão no Brasil tem compromisso com a sustentabilidade. Os programas que desenvolvemos já possuem um histórico longo e estamos sempre comprometidos em evoluir. Cotton Brasil, que estamos apresentando a vocês hoje, já nasce com esse compromisso. Contem com Cotton Brasil. Juntos estamos semeando um futuro melhor.
Thank you, Mr. Moresco. It was a very nice presentation. I would like, since you talked about BCI and how BCI is an important partner of Abrapa and Cotton Brazil, I would like to call CEO of BCI, Alan McClay, that he has a message for us.
Abrapa is and has been from the very earliest days one of our most dynamic partners and one that has already become the largest producer in the world of better cotton. Abrapa became a BCI partner in the very early days in 2010, leading the implementation of the Better Cotton Standard in Brazil. A few years later, Abrapa and BCI aligned the ABER standard with the Better Cotton Standard, and from that point onwards, farmers growing ABR cotton could opt to sell their output as better cotton, significantly boosting the volumes available on the global market. In the 2018 to 19 cotton season, Brazil produced more than 2 million tons of better cotton, a 34% increase, accounting for 36% of all better cotton production globally. In Brazil, practically all cotton production is better cotton licensed, with 75% of national market share. These numbers have not come easily. Brazil has high productivity, mostly without irrigation, and production is in organized farms with impressive operational efficiency. On the other hand, we know that Brazilian farmers face unusual challenges, challenges that are specific to the local climatic and geographical conditions. Most specifically, we want to address together the question of pests and how best to deal with them through the judicious selection of inputs and policies which include the reasoned phasing out of the most highly hazardous pesticides. Not an easy challenge, but one that we can achieve together with the combined intelligence in IPM, in biological alternatives, the know-how and commitment of us all towards a safer planet. Our collaboration with Abrapa remains an important and effective way of expanding BCI's reach, supporting Brazilian cotton farmers, and ensuring that more sustainably produced cotton is available on the global market.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, BCI, for your partnership. Now, I would like to call Mr. Henrique Snitkowski, President of the Brazilian Cotton Shippers Association, and he will for his address.
Olá, meu nome é Henrique Snitkowski, presidente da ANEA, Associação Nacional dos Exportadores de Algodão. Em nome de todo o setor, quero agradecer a participação de todos neste importante evento. Aproximaremos cada vez mais o algodão brasileiro dos principais mercados consumidores. Nos anos 90, o Brasil foi o segundo maior importador do mundo de algodão. E de lá para cá, com muito trabalho de todo o setor, as exportações cresceram consistentemente e consideravelmente, fazendo com que o Brasil se tornasse o segundo maior exportador do mundo, representando cerca de 25% do comércio mundial de algodão. As exportações cresceram com a organização do setor, mostrando que é possível, de maneira integrada e estruturada, resolver os gargalos de logística e aumentar a capacidade de exportação do país. Quando o país embarcava 180 mil toneladas de algodão num único mês, o nosso desafio era superar a marca de 200 mil toneladas. Superamos essa marca e embarcamos 250 mil toneladas de algodão. E fomos em busca de um novo desafio, o desafio de embarcar 300 mil toneladas de algodão num único mês. O Brasil embarcou 333.200 toneladas de algodão no mês de novembro do ano de 2020. Esse é um importante dado para todo o setor que traz mais confiança para o importador do algodão brasileiro. O Brasil deixa de ser um exportador sazonal, aquele exportador que participava com 70% dos seus embarques durante o segundo semestre do ano, deixando apenas 30% para ser embarcado no primeiro semestre do ano subsequente. Agora o Brasil equilibra melhor essa sazonalidade, com grandes volumes embarcados ao longo de 12 meses, trazendo ainda mais confiança e regularidade para os principais mercados importadores, que necessitam programar de maneira antecipada as suas compras e principalmente a sua mistura dentro de suas indústrias. É com essa nova perspectiva que o Brasil vai trabalhar para trazer cada vez mais informação, transparência e credibilidade, aproximando o nosso setor cada vez mais. E o lançamento deste projeto marca um período muito importante desta transição, que é o Cotton Brasil, projeto que tem sede no destino, que carinhosamente chamamos de Embaixada do Algodão Brasileiro, e que terá muito trabalho pela frente para promover cada vez mais essa integração entre o país produtor e exportador com os principais países consumidores. Desejo a todos um excelente ano e que esta nova jornada seja uma jornada de muito sucesso para todo o nosso setor. Contem conosco e muito obrigado.
Thank you, Enrique. We certainly have some more questions for you in our Q&A session. As you can see, Brazilian cotton has quality, has sustainability, and traceability to our customers. And now I will talk about our vision to the future. But first, let me show you some interesting figures about that Enrique mentioned and also Julio mentioned that I would like to put on the screen, please. These are our export numbers, so they're in tons. See, we are expected to export more than 2 million tons this cropping season, and that's around 12 million bales of 170 kilos. So Brazil has been growing significantly our exports with 62 plus destinations. Next, please. Among our top 10 destinations, we see India here. I mean, of course, India, China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Pakistan represent a large share. But India is also among our top 10 importers of cotton. Next, please. And we see there is a lot of room for improvement, a lot of room for doing more business with India, because even though we acknowledge how important India is in cotton production and also in cotton exports, we also know in part of the India also imports cotton, and our share in the Indian imported cotton market is very little. Even though it's been growing from 1% to 7% last marketing year, we know there is room for improvement. We know we could do better. So that's one of the reasons we are here, to understand how we can partner with, how we can partner and how we can work towards improving this number, and that can certainly be of the best interest of both sides of the Indian textile sector and the Brazilian cotton sector as well. Next, please. Next, please. So regarding outlook, that's the topic of our event. I would like to share some figures about next year, next cropping season that we are planting right now. So we are expected, as Julio said, to reduce our cropping area. So in about 16%, and that's going to have a similar impact in production, and that's in hectares and in tons. And that's mainly because of climate and also because of the price and the COVID situation that a lot of farmers decided not to plant, and they take the decision several months before the planting season starts. So when the decision was made, the profitability of considering the prices of those at that time, they were not good. And on top of that, we have some climate issues. So, and these are the estimates of Embrapa for this next cropping season. Next, please. But in the medium term, what we want to emphasize is that even though we're going to have a slight bump in the next season, we're looking at solid growth for Brazil, solid growth in terms of production. This is an estimate from the Ministry of Agriculture, showing that in 10 years, Brazil could grow up to 77% its production. And since we reached a plateau in consumption, so we're going to have to look for international markets. So we're going to have to increase in more than 100% our exports, and that's why we are now moving towards a more different approach in terms of exports, and then that's what I'm talking about I'll be talking about. Next, please. And that's the Cotton Brazil initiative. The Cotton Brazil initiative is a project. Next, please. It's a partnership between Abrapa, the Apex, which is the Brazilian Trade and Promotion Agency, and also ANEA, the Brazilian Cotton Shippers Association, with the full support of Brazil through the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Foreign Affairs and all the embassies in our main importing countries. Next, please. So what is Cotton Brazil about? The Cotton Brazil is about emphasizing the three main points that we have, that the pillars of our cotton production, which are quality, traceability, and sustainability, and adding another point, which is closer relationship with our clients. Because we understand that if we want to be stronger in the international market, we need to be closer, we need to understand their needs, and we need to strengthen our partnerships. Next, please. And through closer relationships, we mean physical presence in Asia. And I am here right now starting the first international office of Abrapa. And we chose Singapore because it's close to, it's a few hours away from the major destinations in Asia. It's when this COVID situation is over, I'll be hopefully visiting frequently the main markets, and I'm really looking forward to go back to India. I was there 10 years ago, and I want to go back. Digital presence with website in 9 languages, relationship marketing, technical and marketing events and workshops. So we want to be running more workshops, especially technical workshops to in several markets according to the needs we identified. We want business intelligence. We want to strengthen the buyers and sellers missions that we've been doing even before the Cotton Brazil initiative. We're doing market surveys, and actually we're doing one right now, and we encourage you to help us to answering this survey that you'll be getting if you haven't got it yet, but you'll be getting in your email, because that's going to be really important for us to understand and how we can approach, how we can deliver more value to our clients overseas. And finally, but not lastly, international partnerships like the partnerships we're having. We're signing today with Citi. I mean, that's really what this is about, understanding and identifying key partners and working together toward common objectives from both sides. So along with traceability, quality, sustainability, closer relationship will be key in our agenda from now on. Next, please. So this way we encourage you to look at our website, and to get our newsletter, to fill the form to get our newsletter. Follow us in our social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. That we're feeding you with information about Brazil, about their crop, and especially information that would about how we see the market situation going, and how we can, and of course we'll be open through the social media and through the site and through the direct contact to establish relationships with and also helping you to engage with Brazilian exports of Brazilian cotton as well. So please, I would like to, as after introducing Cotton Brazil, I would like to now call a video that talks more about Cotton Brazil and what it's all about.
In view of so many transformations in the production and consumption processes, Cotton Brazil represents a new step for Brazilian cotton in the global market. After 20 years of constant innovation, research, and investments led by Abrapa, Brazilian Association of Cotton Growers, its members, and partners, it's time to offer the textile universe a raw material that constantly seeks to evolve in quality and sustainability. The market prioritizes transparency, and Cotton Brazil fosters Brazilian cotton, emphasizing its support of the environment and its promotion of social and economic development. In our scenario, advanced technology and agricultural management tools add to the dedicated expertise of trained professionals to develop precision, sustainable growing practices. Supported by its calling for hard work and the search for continuous improvement, Brazil remains one of the main agricultural suppliers of food and raw materials in the world. We value productivity. We pride ourselves on being the fourth largest producer, second largest exporter, and the largest supplier of cotton licensed by the Better Cotton Initiative, BCI, in the world. And this journey gives us confidence to evolve and go further. Our field science is aligned with the delivery of a product increasingly in tune with the demands of buyers, spinners, and apparel manufacturers in Brazil and around the world. In Brazilian cotton, one will find proof of origin, traceability, quality, technology, sustainability, and now consistent year-round supply, thanks to a constant increase in productivity. Count on Cotton Brazil. Step by step, we grow for a better future together.
All right, now, thank you for the video. Now we would like to call everybody back to the room so that we can start the Q&A session. Okay, can we have everybody in the mosaic here in the screen? So, well, I have some questions here I would like to ask. So first of all, I have a question for you, Henrique. So basically, the question is about transit time, Brazil, comparison of transit time, Brazil to India, and comparison with the American cotton. And also a second question is if Brazil, in your opinion, will be able to keep the export pace for the next few years?
Thank you very much, Marcelo. It's a good question. But first of all, I would like to congratulate everyone for this special event. And I really hope that we can meet in person in the near future. Specifically about the transit time in Brazil, as you know, it may vary from depending on the shipping line and the destinations. But specifically for India, I would say between that the main exporting exits out of Brazil ports compared to the ones in the United States, you're going to be Brazil, it's going to be probably about 8 to 12 days behind. So it takes a little bit longer to ship from Brazil. And that's why it's so important, like we said, in order to have the picture of the Brazilian capacity and the growing and the expansion of this capacity throughout the months. We've been shipping in Brazil, and most recently, we were able to ship more than 300,000 tons in a single month. Over 300,000 tons in November, and a record of 370,000 tons in December. Just in the 2 weeks of Jan, Brazil already shipped over 200,000 tons. So the whole industry is working together over the last years in order to become more organized and prepared for planning this expansion. And when we in the past were shipping out of Brazil between 150 and 200,000 tons every month, our challenge was to surpass that number. But when we start growing the crops in a faster pace, our challenge was actually to even export more than 300,000 tons consistently. So this was a great achievement. It's an important number for Brazil. And as the crop continues to expand and maintain its regularity of production in a range of minimum 2.5, 2.6 million metric tons, and more than 3 million tons like we had last year, and Brazil's consumption, domestic consumption, stays around 650, 750,000 tons every year, Brazil will be able to change this path, and instead of being just a seasonal exporter, like it was in the past, shipping roughly 70% of the total exports during the second semester of the year, and just leaving the remaining balance of 30% for the first half of the year, we are now finding the right equilibrium to be shipping consistently representative months, representative volumes every month. So this is a very important message to the market that will change the path and the methodology of Brazilian exports in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Enrique. Thank you. And I have a question now for Mr. Bussato. Julio, the question is regarding prices. I mean, if prices if prices go down back to 50 cents, since Brazil has no subsidies, no government subsidies, how do you think that could impact Brazil's production?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Sim, pode impactar
Mr.
com certeza, porque hoje o nosso custo de produção ele fica na casa de 60 centavos. Então, provavelmente nós teríamos uma área menor. Agora, nós produtores também estamos olhando da seguinte forma: nós precisamos manter um volume de algodão suficiente para manter o mercado que nós conquistamos e também para manter as nossas equipes de pessoas que nós treinamos, que nós preparamos, porque o algodão realmente é uma cultura que demanda muita tecnologia e demanda pessoas preparadas. Então, mesmo que nós tivermos algum problema de preços, nós temos alguns mecanismos que o governo brasileiro pode nos auxiliar, né, que é uma garantia de preços mínimos que o Ministério da Agricultura tem, e nós precisamos manter o nível de produção que nós temos para manter o mercado que nós conquistamos.
Thank you, Mr. Bussato. Thank you, Julio. I would like to ask Mr. Tulas Darana a question actually came from Brazil, and considering that India is such a major player in the cotton market, and Brazil has been only recently starting to be a major exporter, how do you see Brazil and India collaborating? What room do you see for more collaboration between those two countries in terms of trade, in terms of technology, in terms of cooperation in the cotton sector?
Well, it's a very good question. Indian spinning industry is growing at a average rate of 4.7% per annum. And though India is a cotton surplus country today, in another 6-7 years, we would be facing cotton shortage with the dynamic government promoting the cotton exports, cotton textile exports. Our textiles also, we have a ambitious plan of getting 12% of the global market. Now we are at 5.5%, and we have a big force, employment force, and we have to employ them. And I think India will be slowly importing more and more cotton for specific end use, which is not available here. In that, Brazil could play a very big, important role in supplying contamination-free cotton at present and future specialty cotton in the coming year.
Thank you. Mr. Ganatra, would you like to add anything to this question?
Yes. As Mr. Tulsidaran said, at present we have surplus cotton. I don't see in near future any much shortage coming of cotton, because Indian government is increasing every year MSP, minimum support price. In 2018, government has increased 27% of minimum support price. 2019-20 also they have increased nearly 5%. And again in June 2021, we have to see what is government decision to increase the MSP. So as on today, farmers are very happy to grow the cotton. And in India, we have no other option to the 80% of the farmer who are growing cotton, because there is a shortage of irrigated land. So due to the shortage of water, they have no other go and they have to grow the cotton. So I think cotton sowing with the support of government, increasing minimum support price, it is likely to increase year after year. And for the increase of spinning mill, if government has not given any subsidy from last 4 to 5 years, so putting a new plant of spinning mill is very difficult in today's time. So accordingly to us, India is very comfortable in cotton stocks, as I said. But I agree with Mr. Tulsidaran. We are having shortage of ELS cotton as well as contamination-free cotton that is not available in India. So our imports of this type of cotton will increase. 2 years before, we have done import of 4 million bales, but due to last year's strict lockdown, our spinning mills were closed for 6 months. So we have surplus cotton, and looks like this surplus cotton will be continue for another 2-3 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ganatra. Following on this question, I would like to ask Mr. Bussato about contamination-free cotton, because in Brazil, 100% of harvest is machine picked, and so that means Brazil can be an important supplier for that niche market in India. Júlio, what do you think about that?
Com certeza, né? O 100% da colheita do algodão brasileiro é mecanizada, né? E nós estamos trabalhando muito, a Brapa com as associações estaduais, num controle rigoroso de qualidade e nos processos de colheita e beneficiamento, para que não ocorra contaminação no nosso algodão. Então, hoje, tranquilamente, nós estamos a um nível igual ao algodão americano e igual ao algodão australiano nesse quesito de contaminação, né? Eu só queria voltar naquela primeira pergunta que foi feita sobre o preço, porque existe sim uma preocupação de que o Brasil reduza muito a sua área plantada, né? Mas, quando nós tomamos a decisão, nós, produtores, de reduzir a nossa área em 16%, o ano passado, essa decisão foi tomada quando o algodão estava 48 centavos de dólar a libra-peso. Então, para ver que realmente existe essa preocupação de manter mercado, de manter as pessoas e as algodoeiras e as máquinas, ok? Obrigado.
Julia, one more question for you is a lot of people are asking about extra long staple cotton, algodão de fibra longa. So will Brazil start exporting, because that seems to be a very important demand here in India for algodão de fibra extra longa?
Ok, na verdade, o Brasil já foi um grande produtor do algodão pima, né, que é a fibra longa. Mas o mercado brasileiro, a demanda foi muito pequena e praticamente foi extinto aqui no Brasil, né? Agora, a partir do momento que nós tivermos mercado e se houver rentabilidade da lavoura, com certeza o Brasil tem condições climáticas e tecnologia para produzir o algodão de fibra longa.
Thank you, Julio. Henrique, regarding quality, there's some questions here asking that how about quality. Some people saying, "Oh, Brazil cotton is not that strength of Brazilian cotton is not as good as they were expecting." What do you have to tell us about cotton quality? And how buyers what they should be asking the merchants in terms of data when they're buying cotton from Brazil?
Thank you, Marcelo. Well, on the quality side, and as we saw in the presentation, with the numbers, the official numbers that have been published by the Brazilian Cotton Growers Association, the quality of the Brazilian cotton has been improved a lot over the last years. If we look for the recent two last crops in Brazil, we saw the majority of middling 36s and longers produced in Brazil, with a great level of uniformity and the quality in general improving. As new technologies come in place as well, and as you know, that Brazil grows cotton in a large scale, one of the things that it was most important on the consumer market was the consistency of the Brazilian cotton throughout the years, to have consistency in quality, consistency in the uniformity. And we are seeing, based on that, and also the initiative to invest on the central lab in Brazil in order to control all the information across the country, we saw a different level of investments and controls in order to continue to improve the quality standards in general of Brazil. And this is very important as well, because when Brazil was a seasonal exporter in the past, one of the things that we used to listen when we were visiting most of the consumer markets was we need to count on the Brazilian bale, not only on the quality, but we need to count on the consistency, because we are working with a mix in production, and we can only count on that mix and that quality during 4, 5, 6 months of the year. And now with the size of the crop of Brazil and the volumes that we intend to continue to ship throughout the first half of the year, we are going to promote the similar expansion and the similar path that we were doing during the second half of the year. So for the coming years, we do expect to have this type of stability, uniformity, not only on the quality side, but especially on the volumes to be available to the consumer markets.
Thank you, Rick. It's important that this question, because I was taking a look at those numbers the other day, and I noticed that in the early 2000s, when Brazil started to export, India was one of the main importers of cotton from Brazil. And of course, cotton that was exported from Brazil in the early today, at those times, are totally different than the cotton we are exporting today. So if you experienced in the past, you should try it again, because definitely the numbers that the improvement in quality numbers are quite impressive. Well, I would like to now, I think we ran out of time. I would like to thank you all for being here, and thank our audience, and thank our speakers, and thanking our authorities for the pleasure that you of having you here. And I hope this is just the first one of several meetings and several events and workshops we're going to have. And definitely India is now closer to Brazilian cotton with our office here in Singapore. Hopefully I'll be visiting you shortly to strengthen our ties and work in partnerships in the future. But before I hand on to Julio for his closing remarks, I would like to ask Dr. Sunanda that she has a message to us, and then following, I would ask Julio for his final remarks. Dr. Sunanda, please.
Hola, greetings from Citi. At the outset, I would like to thank all the organizations, the Embassy of Brazil in India, the Ambassador, ABREPA, and all the organizations for partnering with Citi for organizing this event. It is a great partnership with ABREPA. We also thank Mr. Marcelo for your great support. Thank you very much. I would also like to invite all of you for Citi's second edition of Global Textile Conclave 2021, which we are organizing on Wednesday 24th and Thursday 25th February 2021 on virtual platform for wider global participation. The theme of the conclave is the India Factor, Transforming Global Textiles and Apparels in 2021 to 2030. And our co-partners are International Textile Manufacturers Federation, ITMF, and International Apparel Federation, IAF. And our knowledge partner is Gursit Textile Organization. We have invited India's Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, for inaugurating this significant event, but confirmation is awaited. At the same time, I'm happy to inform that our Honorable Union Minister of Textiles and Women and Child Development, Mrs. Smriti Subin Irani ji, has agreed to deliver the keynote address. We have got participation from all the 6 continents of the world, and it would be a great opportunity if all of you join this significant event. I invite all of you to join this event. We will send you the invitation and flyer for greater participation, especially to ABREPA. Please circulate to your members. Thank you very much, and hearty congratulations once again to ABREPA and his team. Thank you very much. And thank you, ICAF, Indian Cotton Federation, and Indian Cotton Association also for partnering in this significant event. Thank you very much to all the speakers and delegates for participating. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sunanda. Namaste. Thank you. You've been great. It's been great working with you in Citi. And now, finally, I would like to ask Julio Bussato for his final remarks to close this event. So thank you very much for being with us. And Julio, please, that's on you.
Queria dizer para a doutora Sunanda que nós vamos transmitir esse convite para os nossos associados. Okay? Quero agradecer aos nossos parceiros, a PEX e a NEA, por estarmos juntos. E olha, eu estou muito feliz com o resultado do nosso primeiro Cotton Day. Nós tivemos 124 participantes e mais de 100 deles continuaram até o final. E isso foi só o início. E agora, com essa assinatura do memorando, eu tenho certeza que nós iremos nos aproximar ainda mais. Acreditamos que, no futuro, a indústria têxtil indiana deverá crescer mais do que a produção de algodão. E aí nós vemos isso como uma grande oportunidade de nos tornarmos, o Brasil se tornar um grande fornecedor de algodão para vocês. Como foi demonstrado hoje, né, nós produzimos algodão em quantidade ao longo de 12 meses, com qualidade, sustentabilidade e rastreabilidade. E nós possuímos uma condição de crescermos muito mais a produção de algodão no Brasil. Porque a agricultura brasileira, de um todo, para produzir grãos e fibras, utiliza somente 8% do território nacional. 8% somente. E nós cultivamos 38 milhões de hectares de soja e 1,6 milhões de hectares de algodão. Então, para nós aumentarmos a nossa produção, basta nós retirarmos a área da soja e aí nós conseguimos crescer a nossa produção. E o que nós precisamos com isso? Nós precisamos, primeiro, mercado. E esse é o objetivo do nosso Cotton Day, né? E eu tenho certeza que no futuro nós vamos construir uma relação ganha-ganha, né, entre os produtores de algodão do Brasil e vocês aí da Índia como nossos clientes de algodão. Então, muito obrigado a todos e, olha, tenho certeza que nós vamos andar mais juntos daqui para frente.